Okay, good evening everyone. Using a microphone just so it picks up well, so if anybody needs to see this latterly on the website, they can actually hear what I'm saying. These slides will also be available probably tomorrow. We'll try and get them on the website, but feel free to take a picture if you want to take any pictures of the slides as we go through them. So we're here to talk about some of you have been through a process already. If you're in S5, going to S6 is a different mindset, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We're going from S4 into S5. And S4 now is part of the senior phase. It's quite complicated in the sense that things have changed. So there will be some classes that you'll find if you're into S5 next year. Some S4s will be in S5 classes. And vice versa. So the whole process is more open than it used to be. So some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves really is how you've arrived at the stage that you're at. What should we be doing next? What should we be thinking about researching? And what next? And lots of things need to happen outside of this presentation in terms of your own research about what you want to do. That I can't give you the answers to. You need to make some calls outside of this presentation, to talk to lots of people. You need to really deeply think about not just the next year, if it's going to fifth year, but the year after that, and possibly the year after that. There are various ways that you can arrive where you want to go. This is just the beginning of the process. So there are a number of options open, and this is again perhaps looking at more than 1 year ahead. You're looking possibly at National 4 or some MPA wider achievement qualifications. You may be looking at National 5, you may be thinking about hires, you're possibly thinking about advanced hires, or you may be thinking about a school-college partnership option, where you may be involved in one already. So there's a whole range of possibilities between now and the end of school, which may be next year or it may be the year after. Our curriculum model is a model which narrows down as we go through the years. So you start off with a whole range of subjects. In S4 at the moment, if that's where you are, you'll be doing 6 subjects. Next year, if you go into S5, you'll be looking at 5 subjects, and if you go into S6, you could again be looking at 5 subjects, possibly 4, depending on what you choose to study. So the senior phase curriculum looks a bit like that. It's been chopped off a little bit, but you're looking at in S4 English and Maths, and then 4 other options. You go into S5 and S6, so it keeps doing that. And then you're looking at up to 5 options in either or both of S5 and S6. And it will depend on where you are. There is one elephant in the room here in terms of next year, and that's how well you do in the summer. So although you're going to go through a process where you choose your options and you start courses in June, it might look slightly different when we come back in August. Obviously, if you want to do higher English, and you don't pass English at National 5, then you can't do higher English. You need to think about your options again. You may need to repeat and do National 5 again, for example. Hopefully that won't happen. But we need to bear that in mind, that the entry requirements still stand, but you won't know how that will go until you've actually done the examinations and got what you need. The number of subjects, as mentioned, if you return to S5 next year, you must take 5 courses, and that is for everybody who goes into S5. There's no study column in S5, so you're expected to do 5 subjects. Now, the combination of subjects will be different from one person to the next. We have a lot of young people who want to do 5 hires, and they have the results, and they're able to do that. Some young people want to do 4 hires or 3 hires, and possibly National 5s alongside those. And then there's other combinations as well. Might be a combination of National 5s, possibly only 1 hire. It really depends on you. But the beauty of the Scottish system means that in S6 you do have the opportunity to study to at least higher level the second time round. So you may not get what you need the first time round in S5, but you can pick up in S6 perhaps what you need to get to the next stage of your education. So in S6 you might take 4 or 5 courses. We wouldn't expect you, for example, to do 4 advanced hires and a higher in S6. That would be highly unusual. But if you're doing 3 advanced hires, you might pick up a National 5 or a higher possibly, but we wouldn't expect you to do 5 subjects. And every case is slightly different. But in S6 most young people take 4 subjects and they have a study column. But in S5 you don't. So you need to think about a number of things really as you approach this over the next few weeks, and we're talking about the next 3 to 4 weeks as you give this a lot of thought. So do you know what the entry requirements are for the next stage when you leave us? Do you know what college wants from you for your particular course or university? Do you know if you're going into training or into work? Do you know what they want you to have? And it's really important, if you don't know that you find that out and you work backwards. Because it might not be what you think. And each course, each university, each place of higher education or further education will have its own set of individual entry requirements for each course. You need to think about your progress in particular subjects. You need to maximise what you're good at. You need to be quite mercenary about what you choose to open the next door that you need to go through. It needs to be something you enjoy, up to a point, I would say. It needs to be something that engages you. You need to think about the breadth of subjects that you're taking, and you need to think about the skills that you're going to develop by choosing those subjects. Lots of people you can talk to. Some of these have been mentioned, in fact, have all been mentioned, I think, so far. Skills Development Scotland staff who can't be here tonight, I do apologise for that. We're hoping to be here, but cannot be here. Your subject teachers are really obvious port of call. Guidance staff and admissions at either university or college or HR if you're looking at the world of work. But admissions officers at university, for example, are really, really useful people to talk to. They're very knowledgeable about their own educational establishments. They'll give you an idea of the kind of grades. They won't commit because, of course, it changes from one year to the next, but they'll give you an idea about the kind of the suite of qualifications and the grades that you'll need to get onto a particular course. But they will put in a little caveat that, well, that was this year's cohort, it might be different for next year. It might be higher, it might be lower. But they are really very useful people to talk to. The course choice sheet will look something like this. It will be in, we've had these set out a little bit like this for a good number of years. We have tweaked it slightly. One change this year will be that modern studies will appear, for example, in 2 columns. Demand has been pretty high in that subject in the last few years. We do look at previous years and what demand has been like to try and tweak things slightly. We asked subject leaders to give us recommendations. So we have made some amendments to that sheet, and that'll be coming out very soon. But just to give you an idea, it will be in columns, and you need to choose one subject from each column. And that's really important, otherwise the timetable cannot work. You can't choose 2 subjects from the same column. And that may cause some frustration in terms of subjects, not 2 of the subjects you want to do being in the same columns. I wanted to mention that there are college options. So if you flip that sheet over, you'll see that there are a number of options if you prefer to think about going to college. But what we would say, and this is really important because we don't know whether these courses will definitely run until we see the numbers, and they will say, well, it doesn't matter, you just send us 2 or 3 for that course, we'll see what other schools are doing and we'll make a course run. It doesn't always work that way. So there needs to be a backup plan. So if you are thinking about college, you still need to make a choice, and that's in column B. So you need to have a backup option that you can take in school in case the course doesn't run in college. And you'll see that in the course booklet, which will be available online very soon, it's almost complete. So the back of the sheet looks a bit like that. These are the kinds of courses that the college will offer. It's not very big, so I'll read some of them out. Foundation Apprenticeship in Business Skills, Foundation Apprenticeship in Engineering, Foundation Apprenticeship in Information Technology Software Development. Now these are level 6 courses, so they're equivalent to a higher, but they do take 2 years. So if you commit to doing a Foundation Apprenticeship in 5th year, that will take up an option in 6th year, if that makes sense. So you're committing to 2 years, but you do come out with the equivalent of a higher, a level 6 qualification. There's Foundation Apprenticeship in Scientific Technologies, there's Higher Psychology, Skills for Work, Travel and Tourism, which is level 5. There's a National Progression Award, NPA, in Digital Media, Animation, also one in Professional Cookery, Skills for Work and Engineering, and there's a couple of level 4 courses, Hair and Beauty, and Construction Craft. So there's a whole range of qualifications, right from level 4, National 4, right up to level 6, which is the equivalent of higher. And those courses are mentioned in the booklet. We do also have a booklet from the college that will explain a little bit more about the courses. But if you want to know details, again, you're better placed actually contacting the college or visiting the college and talking about these courses. What I will say about those courses, they're normally delivered via Fife College. Sometimes they're delivered in school, depending on the numbers, but mostly they are delivered externally to the school. They normally take place on a Monday, Wednesday afternoon, alongside other options that you would take. If you're doing higher, then Monday, Wednesday afternoon we'll be doing a higher in a different column. So it won't clash with anything else. You won't miss anything. And we'll provide bus passes for young people to get to the college. Just back to the main form, and I've highlighted a bit at the bottom, which I then typed up so you can see it. And this is really important to say about any of the options that you choose, that we will make every effort to make sure that courses run. But we can't guarantee it. It will depend on the numbers, and it will depend on the staffing. So we can't run, for example, a higher geography course if only 2 people opt to take it. We can't run it with 2 people. What might be an option, if that's the case, is that there may be an option to study that at another school, for example, but that may not be possible. So there may be options that we can't run. In a school like ours, where the stay-on rate is very high into S5 and into S6, and remember S5 and S6 do study certain subjects together, we are normally able to run most courses at higher, and we run probably the highest number of advanced hires, apart from Madras College maybe, in Fife. So we can run most courses. But in advanced hire, for example, if the numbers are low, we won't teach the whole 6 periods, for example. We might reduce the number of periods, and we'll have some directed studies. So you might, if there's only a small group, we may run it, but we'd only have 2 or 3 periods of teaching, and the rest you would substudy. And that's quite usual for schools to do. Just to have a look at how the progression pathways work, and if you're sitting in S4 now, depending on the level of study, you can see where that goes to. FA is Foundation Apprenticeship, which is a level 6, and you can see that goes across 2 years. NPA is a National Progression Award, and they are at level 4, level 5, or level 6. So you can progress from National 4 into National 5 or level 5. You can progress from National 5 into a Foundation Apprenticeship or higher. And you can see that it goes right across into S6. One thing I haven't mentioned in S6, and we don't have, we had any students doing this last year, it's relatively new, there is the possibility of doing units of an HNC in S6. So you can start an HNC at the college in S6. There is a possibility of doing that, but we can talk about that individually if that's of interest to you. We can highlight the courses that are available. Obvious things to think about if you are, when you're thinking about what you're going to choose, whether you enjoy your subject, whether you're good at it, what progress you're making at the level that you're at the moment, and again making sure that you don't narrow your choices. For some of you going into 5th year, this is an opportunity actually to do subjects maybe of a similar nature. You may not want to broaden at the moment. You may be thinking of engineering, therefore you're thinking of all the subjects that will go together to make sure that that works for you. But some of you won't know what you want to do longer term. So you want to keep your options open. You want to do a social subject so you can think about what you can do in 6th year. You do modern studies in 5th year. You can crash history when you get into S6, for example. If you have one subject under your belt from a particular curriculum area, you can what we call crash another subject at the same level when you get into S6. So it's worth considering in terms of keeping your options open across the board. Again, obvious things to say, you will have heard me say this before, no doubt. Please don't make a choice because your friend likes it, or you don't like a certain teacher, you won't necessarily have that teacher next year. You feel pressured to do it by whoever that might be, or that the subject is in inverted commas easy. There are no easy subjects at all, particularly not as you move through the school. And as been mentioned before, if you're here for the study skills part, you have to do the work with people. So it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks in that sense. You're the one who's going to have to actually sit the exam and do the folio work, and you're the one who does the hard work at the end of the day. So in terms of parents and carers in the audience, what questions can you ask? What do you enjoy? What are you good at in school, out of school? That might affect things as well. It's not just about what happens in school. What might he or she be best suited to? Do you have any ideas about what you want to do next? And you are thinking about working that backwards. That is hugely important. That you are thinking beyond S6 and encouraging your son or daughter to find out about courses, jobs and qualifications. You may end up doing a fair bit of that research yourself, so I would imagine. But if you can get the young person to do that, all the better. But there's a lot of information out there that you can find. We have mentioned this a number of times, but subject teachers, guidance teachers, SDS, talking to admissions officers, and also talking to senior leadership team where I was available to do that as well. SDS did provide us with a few slides, which I think Mark is just going to take you through. Let's give you the mic.